WDRS Talk is made possible by the Anchor app. If you've never heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. It's absolutely free and allows you to make your own podcast on your phone or on your computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast on platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can make money from your podcast as well without a minimum membership. It's all you need to make a podcast in one place. So, go and download your Anchor app for free, or you can go to anchor.fm to get started today.
You're listening to the Wolf's Den Radio Show. Talk.
Happy New Year, sisters and brothers, and welcome to another episode of WDRS Talk, the Wolf's Den Radio Show Talk. And this is your host, your brother from another mother, spreading cosmic love wherever I go and wherever I can. Wolf Hemora, in your ears, in your mind, and in your souls. How's everybody doing out there on this new year, 2022? I hope everybody's great. And I wish everybody a fantastic, fruitful year ahead with good health and good fortune. And yeah, man, it was quite an uneventful New Year's Eve for me because, as we all know, this Omicron variant is kicking everybody's ass. Not as bad as Delta. I mean, the symptoms that they're saying it's not as bad, but it's very, very contagious. So please, I'm always going to say this, even if you don't like to hear it. I know you guys out there, some of you guys out there don't want to hear it, but you got to get vaccinated. All right? Because the reason for vaccination is that the virus will always look for a host, which means a body. And the less vaccines you have against this particular virus, the easier for it to get into your system. So if you have no vaccinations at all, then, my friend, you are playing with fire. And I don't want you to play with fire because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. Your health is paramount. Your health is the most important thing, not politics. A lot of people making all of this shit political. And it's just not political at all. It's a health issue. And you have to take care of your own health. And vaccines are part of that. And anyway, so moving on. So yeah, please, if you have been vaccinated and have not gotten your booster yet, do not take it for granted. The booster will help you with all these new variants coming out. Omicron is not going to be the last one coming out. I'm telling you this because there's so many people out there who are not vaccinated. So the only way to get rid of a virus in a pandemic is to give the virus a zero chance to be hosted by anybody. But we live on Earth, and it's it's a weird planet, especially during these times. But I digress. Apart from that, I just want to wish everybody a great year ahead. And good luck with everything. Good luck with your dreams, your aspirations, whatever you have planned, even though it's pandemic times. Keep it in your head. Keep those ideas. Write them down. Don't forget them. They will be able to come out when all of this is over, hopefully. So anyway, episode 33 is coming up, and it's going to be a great first episode for the year. And I'm talking about Francis Brew of The Dawn, the guitarist of The Dawn. And we have a very really cool conversation on this one. And yeah, The Dawn was very much a part of my young life during my high school years. The Dawn is like the Ultra Storm concerts in the mid '80s. Were the first concerts that I really attended as a teenager, as a young adult, and it was The Dawn and Identity Identity Crisis, and I'm not really sure who the other bands were, but it was the Dawn who was the most popular band during that time, and Francis Reyes was actually in what was that band, After Image, during that Ultrastorm that I saw, and yeah, we talk about that one as well. So yeah, it's going to be a great interview. I am compiling more interviews as we speak, and it's going to be an exciting run for season two of WDRS Talk. We're still in season two. I'm going to get hopefully get up to 50 episodes, and we're going to end the second season on that. So, if you have any people that you want me to interview who are important to the cause of Pinoy rock or art, Filipino art, Filipino cuisine, or anybody. It doesn't have to be Filipino. If you feel that there's someone that I would be interested in, please give a shout out on my Facebook or on my Instagram. Wolf Hemora, of course. And I wanted to invite you, please, to subscribe to whatever channel you are listening to this podcast on. And if you're on YouTube right now, please subscribe to the channel. And it helps a lot, of course, with the algorithms of the internet, as we all know. And please like the episode. Please spread the word. And if you're listening on Spotify, please give the channel a follow, as well as in Apple Music. And yeah, man, I mean, that's how you can show your support. And you can also show your support through donating some money to the show. And you can do that on the Anchor.fm website or the Anchor app, where you can actually make your own podcast. If you're interested in doing what I'm doing, go over to Anchor, the Anchor app, download that app, and you can do your podcast for free. And yeah, if you want to make a donation, a monetary donation to the show, you can do it on the WDRS Talk profile page on Anchor.fm on the internet. And any amount is welcome. You can give $1, you can give $10, you can give $100, and there are a couple of patrons that give and donate a monthly amount, which I am very, very grateful for, and I appreciate it. I love you guys for doing that. So if you want to show your support by donations with money, that is very welcome as well. So here we go on with the show, episode 33. This is your host, Wolf Hemora, with Francis Reyes of The Dawn. Enjoy. Francis Reyes, guitarist extraordinaire. How are you, my friend?
Right now, I woke up 30 minutes ago, so I'm just having breakfast on a Sunday. So,
wow, are you a coffee person?
oh yeah. Also, instant coffee. This is like, I don't have a percolator or anything like that. It's fine. Yeah.
So how are you, man? How's your pandemic life going?
Pretty shitty. Especially the last bit of news that we got, 17,000 cases. It's we've Manila's been under practically under lockdown since August 6th. Because they're hoping to bring the numbers down, but the numbers didn't go down. They went up.
Yeah.
And so in that regard, it sucks. But on the other hand, I get to stay at home and work on on that podcast that I have, yung Toaster Roast, and then I had a couple of deadlines with the Dawn that I was able to meet, and basically I have the whole day to stress out about it, as opposed to if I had work.
Yeah.
Then I have to work at it at night, and at night it's like I gotta sleep by this time. Ganyan, ganyan,
Oh
ganyan.
yeah. Oh my god, I
So
hate. I get that, man.
yeah.
Wait, what's your podcast, man? Is it new?
Toaster roast. It's kind. If you remember in the raw, it's kind of like in the raw.
Oh wow, toast to roast.
Toast or roast.
Oh,
So
toast
it's
or
like
roast.
yeah. So it's on Spotify. Well, our third season's on Spotify. The first two we did on Facebook Live. But those two seasons are also available on Spotify. But starting season three, we're audio only.
Mm-hmm.
So there were a lot of changes that we had to deal with from a production standpoint. So yeah.
Excuse me. Um, so what? So in the raw, you're featuring new artists, new local artists. Is that
Mm,
what I'm guessing? Am I guessing right?
yeah. I have a co-host. I don't know if you know or see Kim Marvilla, also an ex-NU DJ.
Oh yeah, Kim. Yes, I know Kim.
Yes,
Yes.
Kim.
Uh huh.
Yeah, so she's been ever since NU shut down. She's been working in ad agencies. So what we do now with the show is I review the music. She reviews the marketing stuff. Like she checks if the band has an EPK or
Mm.
if they're let's say they have an Instagram account. If the content is consistent with their with their music, because sometimes it happens that the music
The
is like
fake.
this, and then the Instagram is like personal stuff which have nothing to do with the music. So
Oh, so they don't
then
know how. So
yeah,
what's that?
yeah.
So what's your conclusion when that happens? When
We just don't know. We just remind them. Well, as far as the social media stuff is concerned, she reminds them to keep it consistent, and you know, um, and
so
also
that when you tell the audience this is their Instagram, when they go there, it's not personal stuff. It's not
yeah,
selfies.
yeah.
It's band stuff.
It's band stuff, or if it's a selfie, it's still related to
Yeah,
the
it's
band
still
or the
yeah, yeah,
artist.
uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's stuff like that. So
Mm.
it's really an updated version of In the Raw, and better for me then because doing it by myself is difficult. Of course, I'll most likely I'll miss out on a couple of details which may be important. So Kim is the one who fills in the gaps. Then we also
Mm.
have a weekly guest commentator, and I may just ask you to do that depending on the time that we record these things.
Oh yeah, sure, man. I'd be honored, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So how long has this been going on?
Um, I think we started. Wow. Uh, I forgot when we started it. But definitely was sometime during the last quarter of last year, and
Mm.
it saddens me that we're about to approach the last quarter of this year.
Oh my god, no.
Got it so fast, and
It's really fast. It's amazing, dude. It's like I mean, I was expecting time to slow down actually,
yeah,
but I think what it is it's the collective vibe of the whole world to hurry this shit up.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So time is, I mean, of course, time is relative. So everyone is anxious to
Mm-hmm.
get this thing over with. So everyone's conscious is like, yeah, time is fast. I mean, if time is fast in the Philippines, because I gotta tell you, it's like, so I was here for about 6 years before coming home.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so the first time we came back, locomotive, and then, dude, I remember time just slowing down so hugely. And they'd be like,
Yeah,
oh, I'm home. It's like, oh, I'm home. I could feel, okay. So yeah, we're here for the band and all, but still, it's still, you know, the pace slowed down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
But I don't think anymore because the last time I was there, hell no,
yeah.
everyone was the culture of the what do you call those, the telemarketers,
Hmm.
because they're, baliktad sila, di ba?
Yeah, yeah.
They stay up at night. So there's this whole new culture, this whole new night culture that
Right.
it's like it's like, well, at least Manila is a 24-hour city because of that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's literally 24 hours because once their shift is done, the morning shift starts. When the
yeah,
morning
yeah,
shift ends, they start. So it's nonstop.
yeah, yeah.
Galing. But that's not happening now, huh?
That's not happening now. I mean, we uh, we're little the this little area where I live in. There's a granular lockdown. So do you have your quarantine pass? Do you have your vaccination
Oh
card? And
shit.
I mean, it's all good. Uh, but it's yeah. You're like, when is this going to end? You know.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's funny because I don't know if you noticed, medyo paus ako because I actually watched the Black Rose the other night.
oh yeah, yeah. The brothers, no, mended
Yeah, the
their.
brothers. Yeah, because it's the 30th anniversary of the first album, Shake Your Mind
Yeah,
Maker,
yeah.
and that was the first concert I've been in since the lockdown. So
Hmm.
17 months, and it wasn't full. It was in the Forum. Um, the venue was the LA Forum. It wasn't full. I had no people beside me at all on my right side, and then I was with the people on my left. So it was there was a lot of people. I mean, the floor was pretty much full. But going up, the more up you got, the thinner it got. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and everyone was wearing masks going in. If they're like, because people, you go in and it's like a herd of people, because you're going in the
Yeah, yeah.
same sections or same whatever. You're going to the same destination. So during that time, everyone's wearing a mask. You have to look. You look. It's like you wanna. It's like you wanna spot the sinong pasaway dito.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, yeah.
I would say 99.9% of people, when they're in a herd,
Yeah.
when they're in the inside where the concessions are, the hot dogs and the drinks, the beers, everyone's lining up for beer, everyone's lining up for the banyo,
Hmm.
everyone was wearing a mask in the banyo. So but then when you got to your seat, you had, if you wanted it on, keep it
Right.
on. If
Yeah.
you want it off, no one's gonna hassle. No one knows hassling anybody for nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like the situation here in civilized, quote unquote, civilized society in here in my area, because then you have other places na talagang like Florida and Texas where they
Yeah.
don't give a fuck,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're paying for it.
Yeah.
So so it's so here, nga, that's the vibe. It's like common sense is the
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah.
It's like, okay, most of Californians, at least more than 50% are vaccinated already. So if you're vaccinated, because what they're saying is like, if you're vaccinated, you're cool, you're protected, and all of that.
Yeah. You
So
can still get the virus, but at least you won't get hospital. It won't be as severe. You'll survive it
yeah,
if you're
there's
vaccinated.
there's some people who have no symptoms. It's
Right.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird, man. So every day is a learning thing for this thing.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that's the vibe. It's like, common sense. If you're in a big crowd, just put on your mask. It's like, at least, and then at the very least, everyone has a mask in their pocket or their
Yeah.
purse.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I like about. That's the vibe I got. Okay, everyone is decent enough to make baon a mask,
Yeah.
you know. So anyway, and then the Black Crowes were amazing. I mean, that because so they played the whole album, the whole first album they played it. So the first song is Twice as Hard. I don't know if you know that song. It,
Hmm.
it
Yeah,
it
yeah.
starts off with slide guitar, and then when the band comes in, putang ina, then I forgot how fucking loud and powerful the sound system of a rock show in America is, or or anywhere, but a rock show,
Yeah.
a rock
Yeah.
concert. When that first the band came in, it was like boom, and the whole crowd is like, wow! You could just feel everyone like
Yeah.
felt that air, and it wala rock and roll the whole time. It was just rock and roll. My sister and her her husband, they don't really express themselves a lot, unless it's a dance band like Thievery Corporation, which we watch and they dance. So
Right.
it's like, so they're sitting down but rocking out, and then there's, I think, the third song, it was just tumayo na kayo. Tumayo na kayo. And then my sister, she just let go, and then she was screaming, and then it because I don't usually see her freak out like that in a rock show.
Right.
Usually she's
Yeah.
reserved.
Yeah.
But after the show, she was like, really, she was telling me, she's like, oh man, that was a release for me. That was like, I was so wound up, and then now I'm not,
Yeah.
and then so it's like, wow, I mean, same here, um that's why I'm paused, because I'm screaming the whole time. And yeah, you could feel, and then people in the front, they were dancing too. And then when by the time it's like the half or a third of the set already, everyone's good vibes already, you're already high-fiving everyone because
Yeah.
it's so galing, you're high-fiving these strangers. And I've experienced that before, because it's just because the music's so good, the vibes are just so good, and you can't help but say, wow, man, up here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I mean, you just have to remain hopeful, I guess, there in the Philippines, diba?
Yeah. Yeah.
What
I
else can you do,
mean,
diba?
there's nothing else. Well, no, you just gotta keep riding the wave, or weathering the storm, or whatever, however
Is
you want
the
to call it.
is the dawn cooking up something for the comeback of
Well,
society?
we have that song, may bukas pa tayo, which I wrote and fleshed out here at home. Then si Sancho mixed it, and then Jet worked out the melody and the words and the harmonies and everything. Then we're mixing something now, which is a collab with, I don't know if you know, si Sharon Reyes, the basta she pop
She's a
singer
singer,
na
pop singer.
biritera na she um she had a great career here. Then she left for the States. Then she came back. So we're
Okay.
collaborating with her and a rapper named Third Flow. So mini mix. That song's being mixed now. Then Jed and I wrote another song. Siguro 2 months ago. Same thing. I fleshed it out here.
Uh-huh.
Everything's a little delayed because we don't have deadlines. I mean,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um, so and I still have a couple of leftover ideas that I want to work on. So, and everyone's game naman eh. Like, so yeah, just send us the stuff, and uh, they'll record their parts, and then we put them together, and it's the same sort of thing. Um, uh, we've planned getting together just to have a drink and maybe jam, but it's not been possible yung Delta is spreading really fast, so we're a little paranoid about that. I mean, the guys are fully vaccinated, but we're very, very careful talaga.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course. I mean, there's no reason to push anything because
Yeah.
it feels like everything's in limbo. So it's like it's weird. It's
Yeah.
weird to plan something for you know. I pre-pandemic I was starting to plan a big show for Manila, but you know, I was like, it's still in my head now.
Yeah.
I've given the idea to some of my friends who are helping me work it out. But right now, it's really literally on the shelf because in my mind, in my brain, because I don't know when there's going to be a concert in the Philippines.
Yeah, yeah.
Something like that.
Everyone here is either gigil tumugtog or gigil makarinig ng tugtog.
Yeah, I bet.
As in, everyone's "Urgh."
My
And
God.
the online stuff is fine, but it's like your experience with watching the Black Rose, right?
Yeah,
You can't get that same power through headphones or through computer speakers or your cell phone or whatever. It's not
yeah,
the same. It's not. This is not moving air.
yeah,
It's moving
exactly.
your eardrums, but it's
Yeah,
not moving air.
yeah,
The,
and
the
it's not.
energy is contained.
Yeah,
It's
and
not hitting you. Yeah.
it's not hitting you. Yeah, yeah, man.
I mean, that's why we love watching and we love playing live. It's that. I mean, largely about the music, but also the visceral aspect of it. Um, to put it simply, moving air.
Yeah,
Iba yun eh.
iba talaga.
Ibang iba, man.
Iba, yeah, that's the subwoofers, the subsonic, pare.
Yeah, yeah,
Diba? Those big speakers in the bottom of
yeah.
the stage. Oh man, yeah, that's the one, man. So anyway, speaking of live music, let's go back in time and then the so I want to I always my guests I always give them a personal experience of mine with them just to because this is the basis of my podcast is I like the people who I'm interviewing. I'm not doing this because of your name or your reputation. It's like, no, you're cool. And
Right. Yeah, yeah.
I have a personal experience that is special to me with you. So, and that experience was that was 2007, I think, or 8. And I jumped with the dawn, pare.
Ah,
That
yeah.
was the Capones.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that was the only time I ever played with you guys. And I was like, when I finally sat down, and then I was looking, it's like I saw you on the right, and then I see Jet, and then, gosh, who's playing bass?
Most likely si Buddy Zabala.
Oh yeah, Buddy. Yeah,
Most
Buddy.
likely.
That's right. Yeah, and I remember it's like tingin na lang ah.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, because I knew the song. The song was "Love Will Set Us Free,"
yeah, yeah,
and that's
yeah,
that's my favorite song of you guys. That's really my favorite song. And then because of the hits,
yeah.
those is it odd time? Is it
It's
really
in.
odd time?
It's in. You can count it in four, but the accents are 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2. So it's in seven.
Oh, it is in 7.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
dude, I
yeah,
love that riff, dude.
yeah.
And so anyway, it was a great show, and it's online. There's actual footage,
Oh
and
shit! I haven't. Oh,
you
okay.
haven't seen it?
I haven't
Oh
seen it yet.
shit! Okay, I'll find it.
Send me the link.
Yeah,
Send
yeah,
me
yeah.
the
It's
link.
on my Facebook. I just have to rummage through the videos, and I'll find it. Oh yeah, dude, it's really good, man. And the crowd was so into it. You'll see it on the video. But anyway, that's my experience with you guys. And then as I'm playing, I'm like, fucking, that's Jeff banging in front of me singing. God damn, man. It's like, and of course, and then I'm like looking at Buddy. It's like, that's a fucking eraser head on my left. Holy
Mhm.
shit. And then, of course, I mean, you know, everyone, because I see you a lot in NU at
Yeah,
events. I see you a lot. So when I saw, I was like, I'm finally playing with this guy who I always see and never play with, man. Shit,
yeah.
because I'm a fan of your style. You have a heavy side, and you have a very trippy side, and they're
Oh yeah,
both really
yeah.
good. It's both really good, and the way you combine them is, it's that's your sound. That's Francis Reyes, man, and it's the sound of the dawn. I mean, uh, you know, uh, of course, props to the late Teddy Diaz, rest in peace.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
the sound now is you. Um, so anyway, yeah, that's my experience with the dawn. And then another experience I had was when I first with you is when I first saw you play ever was with After Image in Ultra Storm 2.
Ah, yeah, yeah.
Do you remember that? I remember
Yeah.
you. I remember you had you had a Strat. Did you play a Strat? Was it a
I
white?
had it was a white
It was white.
telecopy. It
Okay, so
wasn't
it
a
was white.
Telecaster. It,
It
it
was
was
white.
it was white. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember it was white, and you had your hair was teased. Was it teased? It was right.
Yeah, yeah. Paano kasi Wency's sister was a part-time fashion model, and obviously of course into fashion, and she did everyone's hair.
Oh,
And since I had long hair at the time, she was like, "I'm gonna have fun with you." So, and it's like, yeah, okay. Um, yeah, it was way,
did you
way
wear
up there.
makeup? Were you
Yeah, yeah,
guys wearing makeup?
we all did. Yeah. Um, yeah. Why did we wear makeup? Not. It's one of those things where, there was the glam era at the time, and then
Yeah.
also we listened to a lot of new wave stuff. So it was
Oh yeah.
I think it was you couldn't figure out kung ano. Sabagay, at that time the
Um,
Cure wore makeup, so and they still
well,
do.
yeah, yeah.
And
They still do. Yeah.
yeah, I used to wear
They-
eyeliner in college. Eh. I remember interviewing the guy from di ba yung Gene Loves Jezebel. They're
oh yeah.
brothers.
Yeah.
I forgot which one I interviewed, but the brother that I interviewed was the guy based in the States, not the guy based in they split up. There's two Gene Loves Jezebels. Eh.
Ah, okay.
So he was talking about the LA scene and wearing makeup, and then I mentioned casually, oh, I used to wear eyeliner in college. Then I stopped, and then he said he looked at me straight in my eyes and said,
Yeah.
"And that's why I get laid and you don't." A really funny guy, man.
Yeah. So wait, what's Desire, diba? That's their song.
Yeah,
Desire.
yeah. I
I
know
mean,
we
that's their popular song. I mean,
yeah.
I wasn't
And
savvy enough when they came out to go any
I
deeper
didn't really
than.
like them all that much, but dun
Uh-huh.
sa eksena with the whole new wave scene, it was a popular song, and we never did those covers note for note anyway. So, lagyan ko ng distorted guitar. I mean, yeah, so Desire was a little when we would cover it. It was a little rockier, if you like. I mean, I never liked that voice from Gene Loves
Yeah, yeah,
Jezebel.
yeah.
I really didn't. But yung image na parang, uy, parang glam, the new wave maybe that's why one of them ended up staying in LA because
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He stayed there dahil ano eh,
That was the look.
yeah, and I don't, and I thought, I'm not homophobic or anything, but I thought
Yeah.
they were gay.
Yeah.
Of course, turns out the the guy's is a pussy hound pala, A funny guy. Yung when I interviewed him, many years later, it's like, yeah, he's actually cool in his own way, in that LA rocker
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. So I don't remember anything about After Image at that show. I remember you. I can still pick up the fucking image of you in my mind, dude. Because I don't know what it was. I guess it was your hair. It's like, whoa, what the hair, pare? Look at
Could
that.
be that, yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
and of course, at the time, I was already I was, I had my first band already by that time. And even though I was a drummer, I always like guitar players, man. I
Mhm.
mean, that's another, just as much as drummers. Um, and so, to focus on you. And then, and the music wasn't really, hitting me but I can still remember that image, that after image of you. So, you were you in college at that time?
Yeah. Year, that was 88. Uh,
Yeah, 88.
yeah, I was on and off in college. I think I was graveyard shift in NU at that time. So I was doing school and radio and the band. I mean,
Wow.
but during those days, naman, it wasn't like there's a gig every night or anything like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
gigs were
No.
sparse.
Uh-huh.
But
No, but I mean, oh, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, but of course, those are heady days. Those are exciting days when you're part of a band and everyone's into everyone's into
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I would sleep over at Wency's house. I would sleep over in the drummer's house, kina Roji, and then we'd go to either Wency's or Roji's or Bobby Tucson's house to jam or rehearse
Yeah.
or whatever. Even if there was no gig, right? You
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just hanging
just
out.
wanted to play and hang out
Yeah.
and play and jam. Oh, someone has an idea. Why don't we cover this song? And then you study it. Oh, I have a little riff. And, why don't we work on it? Ganyan. With no deadlines, no particular goal really, except to prepare for when's the next gig and when that gig is ready, even if it's just a 3, 4, 5 song gig,
Yeah.
you gave it your all there, right?
Yeah. So was After Image your first band, or did you have a band? I mean, a band earlier in life.
Well, Mon and I tried actually.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Because
Yeah, yeah. Because you're
yeah,
batchmates, right?
we were college buddies. We were tight. So we tried, and before that, there was an attempt at a couple of bands with
Oh, wait. We're
um,
talking about Mon Legaspi there.
Mon Gaspi, yeah.
Yeah.
And before that, two of my college buddies who ended up in NU 107 before I did, a few months apart. John Gregory and Jerry Driss, the three of us were
Yeah.
close college friends, had the same interests, music and radio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they ended up in radio first. I sort of followed. No, I mean I did follow, but nauna sila by a few months, and they ended up being pioneer DJs for NU. Um, oh, and I had another band pala, which is immediately before after it. May nalilito tuloy ako eh. Because definitely I had a band before After Image, which was an all-girl band except for me. I formed it with my girlfriend at the time. And that's
Okay.
how I met the After Image guys.
Uh huh.
Um,
What was that? What was
because
that band like? What music were you playing in that band?
we just covered Jump and uh
Oh, there were keyboards in the band.
yeah.
Oh well, every band that time had keyboards.
Yeah. Everyone's like, oh, we have to have a synthesizer player or whatever.
DX7.
Yeah. So yeah, there was that. Yeah. Then I ended up in After Image. Dahil, we were part of a band contest, and see the bass player for After Image, see Bobet Abat was going to leave the band, and his suggestion was to have Bobit move to bass, and just look for another guitar player. So
Uh-huh.
one of the requirements dun sa band contest in LaSalle was one member has to be from LaSalle, and that was Roji. So one day I saw him talking to my girlfriend, and then I said, "Oh, Roji, what's up?" And then he's like, my girlfriend was saying on my behalf, I think he really has to think about it, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan.
Uh-huh.
And Roger just said, we were wondering if you would like to join After Image. And instantly I said, yeah, sure. My girlfriend was like, half pissed and half natatawa because, they were talking for a few minutes na, and,
Yeah,
kind of saying, no, ganyan, ganyan. But,
yeah.
wag lang iakad. Sabi ko, it would take a lot of convincing, and you just say yes right off the bat.
He's like, you bitch.
But
Ay.
because they won that band contest. So they were a good tight unit.
Mhm.
So
Were they LaSalle guys too?
no, Wency and Bobit, UP, Rogie Lasal, si Arnold. I don't know if he's UP or Ateneo. I don't remember.
And where were you?
Oh, Lasal. Yeah,
Okay. So yeah, you were LaSalle too, right? Yeah.
yeah. So
Man. So how long did it take from so after was After Image already, did they have a name already when they got you?
mm,
Oh really? Okay.
they already had the name. I still remember for that band competition, there had to be auditions first. Um, and uh, I don't know if you know si Carlitos Benavides. He passed on eh. Um,
Yeah, the guy with the sound systems and all of that, no?
yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
Benavides. Yeah. Oh, he passed
So
away?
he passed away.
Shit.
Oh, no, many years ago. Heart attack
Oh, okay.
yata.
Okay.
Anyway, so he had this big house sa Green Hills,
Right. Yeah.
with a rehearsal space and whatever. And I guess one of the school organizers um, knew him, or well, syempre. So they held the auditions there. So a lot of student bands that went to that place, and I remember um, listening to After Image auditions through the thick walls, eh. And they
Oh,
played
okay.
Van Halen's "World Turns Black and White." What title? Get higher and
Oh,
higher.
Dreams.
Dreams, yeah. And my band, we did Rebel Yell
Okay.
for the audition. And I was like, uy, solid yung banda na to. You know. I said the singer sounded funny, but that was because it was through a thick wall.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So yeah, because it's rehearsals, a rehearsal studio.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, and Benavides, yeah. So what was the? How long were you in after Image?
Mm,
Did you do an album?
no, no, I didn't. I joined the Dawn before they got their deal. I think I was
Uh,
with them. I think um, probably a year and a half. But it feels like I stayed with them longer than that because we were together so much. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Na- I mean, yeah, I'm realizing this now. I was with them only for about a year and a half, but
Uh, 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 uh,
it was a fun, memorable year and a half.
fun field
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I hear, I'm not very sentimental, but sometimes an old new wavy song, I'd hear it, and then instantly I'm thinking of um, being uh, in that rehearsal space in uh, Bobby Tucson's house, or I smell the creek.
Oh,
When you know what I
yeah,
mean, and
yeah, yeah,
then
yeah, 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 yeah.
all
The punk.
these
Yeah,
bilang very fond memories and all of that.
yeah, yeah. That's cool, man. So, what are your origins as a? I mean, what was uh, your earliest like? I'm always interested in the first time that people like had realize. Whew, they have Malay,
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then the song, like the first music, like it doesn't have to be a rock song or whatever, but like
Mm.
what are your earliest memories of music that you like? It's like, oh, I like this, it's like, because I
Ah,
have a nephew who's 9. I mean, he's 8, but he's turning 9, I think, this year, and in a month, actually, in 2 months. And yeah, when I talk to his father, he has his favorite songs. He
yeah.
likes what did he say? He likes Iron Man of Black Sabbath,
Hmm.
along with some SpongeBob SquarePants song. That's part of
Right. Yeah.
that's the playlist of an 8-year-old.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are yours? What's your no your first your memories of discovering music?
Well, the very first song I ever liked was James Taylor's "You've Got a Friend." So that was 1971. So I was about 4. That's my earliest memory of sitting in front of a jukebox and staring at where the sound was coming from, and just really liking the song. Syempre, I was 4 years old. I liked the "You've Got a Friend."
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
You're a
yeah,
kid.
yeah,
You're learning about friendship and whatever, and you think, oh, that's so cute and so
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
And so my parents bought the Mudslide Slim album where that song uh, came from. Then they played the rest of the record, and but there was no response from me. You've got a friend. I
The
think
James
Fire.
Taylor one. The James
Yeah,
Taylor. Yeah.
I think Fire and Ice was also there, but I on that album. But that I learned to appreciate years later, and me remembering vaguely. Yeah, I really like this song. Yeah, this is another James Taylor song that I like. But You've Got a Friend was the very first one. Because my parents, my my mom comes from a family of, you know she studied fine arts. I have a tita who studied classical piano. My lola played piano, so there was a bit of music on their side, but it wasn't like overt na you go to their house and you hear music or whatever. But there were, my dad's side, wala talaga. There's no ano there. So I remember also going, so my parents my dad would listen to polkas and John Philip Sousa, the marches.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Marching
Ta-ta-da,
band.
ta-ra-ta-ta-ta, yung mga marching
Yeah.
band.
Oh, wow. Really?
So, of course, you're a kid. Well, depende. There'd be kids who'd probably be into that, right? Yung parang, but I was like, it's too loud.
Yeah.
But I remember my parents bought the Santana 3 ba yun?
Yeah. The one, the
The
guy, the
yeah,
guy's like that. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Look at, yeah, like that.
yeah, like that, right?
Yeah, dude. Santana 3.
So I put it on when I was into music. And I was like, wow, my parents didn't know they had a really cool record in their collection.
Uh huh.
So somehow a Santana album was there.
Wow.
But I didn't get into music for many years. Maybe it's because my kuya was a little bit into music, and I didn't want to be like him. Yeah, typical. I don't want to be
Yeah.
like my, you know,
Right, right, right.
the sibling rivalry shit.
Yeah. So what was the first album that you ever got? Not bought, but got.
Um,
Because mine would be the first, because I remember my dad's like, I'll buy you something. What do you want to buy?
mm,
What do you want? And then I think I was maybe 9 or 10, like my nephew's age. And I go, I want the A Hard Day's Night, the album
mm.
cassette. So he got me the cassette. So that was my first album that I ever got. It was A Hard Day's Night by the Beatles. Because my favorite song at that time was probably Hard Day's Night.
Yeah,
The guitar intro. Chang!
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that, man. Every time I hear it, I'm like, whoa! That
Did you ever
sound.
get to see the movie on Channel 9? Because
Uh,
there's a
oh yeah,
movie.
yeah, yeah. When they're running away from the fans.
Yeah, and then
Uh,
see, one of them got shrunk and was beginning to take a bath sa inodoro or something. We used to watch that when we were kids, and that's on. And by the way, that's how we discovered the Beatles.
uh-huh.
Syempre, because
Oh yeah, in
alanganin
TV. Yeah, yeah,
on TV. It's like, oh, Hard Day's Night. Yeah,
yeah. That's probably where I saw them, too, on TV. I'm like,
most likely.
wow,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and
And it,
yeah,
it was a funny movie. It was fun and funny.
fun and funny. Yeah, they were funny. I mean, especially like Ringo Starr was funny,
Yeah,
But actually, all of them are. John Lennon's a funny guy, man.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
everyone thinks he's so serious and all of that, but no, he's a goofball, man.
yeah.
Um, but anyway, so what was what would be yours? What?
Um. Well, I wasn't given an album particularly, but um, Syempre was disco era, and the whole family loved the Bee Gees, and 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 they're great songwriters talaga. Even especially Dave Grohl is a great defender of. But they wrote great songs. But anyway, so
Oh
I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
my parents bought us the kids yung Bee Gees greatest. So it was a double album. So all the hits were there. Um, but mostly yung the disco era albums. So starting from 1975 to about 1979, because the Bee Gees had a different sound before that, di ba?
Right.
Yung
Yeah. Uh-huh.
like Fanny beat. No, yung Fanny medyo no wait, that was medyo 1975. That's a disco era na. But before that was Have You Seen My Wife, Mr. Jones? Totally different sound, right?
Yep. Uh-huh. They still sounded like a '60s,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
band. Yeah. Yeah.
And then something happened, and then
The funk happened.
the funk happened, and I still think, and I think I learned how to sing by trying to sing along with the falsetto.
Oh,
Those
the
are terrible.
falsetto.
Yeah. Now, no matter what legendary status the Bee Gees may have now, I still
Uh-huh.
think it's a terrible falsetto.
Really? So
There are
it's not a true falsetto.
no, no. it's a falsetto, but even if I loved it as a kid, yung it's it parang parang why did the whole world like that? I mean, the melodies are fine,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh,
um,
but the voice itself, the
but
quality
the
of the
voice
voice.
itself, which everyone fell in love with, but you and I try to justify it now that I know more music, I guess, and I was like, you know, I still enjoy it, but parang God, if there was a way to change the because yung mga like the black guys when they do yung mga falsetto like
Yeah, yeah, I get it. Uh-huh.
diba it's really sweet
It's
and
yes, yes, yes. It's silky, silk.
silky, yeah. Yung the
Yeah,
Bee Gees were like it's
yeah,
grating, it's
yeah,
nasal and it's
yeah,
grating,
yeah.
but
It was
but they
yeah.
wrote great songs like like
One of my favorite songs is "How Deep Is Your Love," man.
that's a beautiful song.
That song is high up. The melody,
Yeah,
even the music in that song,
yeah,
the musicians who are playing, oh man, because
yeah,
it's chill the whole time from beginning to
yeah,
end. It's just one mood,
yeah.
and then they're singing. Galing pare, you know.
And the lyrics are nice.
Yeah, the
They're not
lyrics are nice.
they're
Yeah,
not cliche. It's like it's a sincere, very well written love song. It's really timeless.
it's very timeless,
Yeah,
man. Yeah. I mean, you play that for a chick now. I mean,
it's
they'll
still
like
gonna
it.
have
They're still
yeah,
gonna be like, "Ooh, yeah,
yeah,
yeah." It's like, oh, it's so deep for you, baby. You
yeah.
know.
I mean, I know your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. It's like
Yeah, man. It's
how much
poetic too.
more very poetic. Galing, galing.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's like a rom com, but music. It's a
Yeah,
song.
yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
it's like you've got mail in a song form.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Ganon.
Exactly. Yeah.
And You've Got Mail is one of my favorite movies because yeah, it's a romantic comedy, but it's not. It's realistic, you know.
Yeah.
Well, of
Yeah.
course, the ending is not realistic, but the
Yeah.
situations that they were in, yeah, you can relate somehow, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, going back to um to
Album.
you, when uh, when was that opportunity to join the Dawn? What happened there?
Um, there were certain internal things that happened, personal things that happened sa After Image. Won't get into detail because
Yeah.
past
Uh-huh.
is past and resolved and whatever. But I just I have to admit, I have a fault there. Um, and also there was also the musical aspect. And in the beginning, we were all um, kind of discovering the same things roughly at the same time.
Right.
Or when I first joined, U2's The Joshua Tree just exploded.
Yeah.
Um, uh, there, so it was, I was a U2 fan going back to high school. So it was nice to be in a band. Like, see, Wency was a huge U2 fan.
Right.
Um, the Synagogy were into Rush and Yes, which I was also into. So it was very nice. Now I can talk to this guy about U2, and I can talk to the guys about the Dregs or whatever. And
Nice.
and somewhere in between, we'd all be talking about whatever song, whatever bit of music. And when I so we'd open for the Dawn, and then the Dawn got me as a roadie.
Oh,
So my perspective also was changing,
right.
because I saw um, how they ran things, well, very professionally. and I was curious about a lot of things. How things work, the importance of really having your own amp, because before, syempre, as with
Yeah.
any innocent young band, we plugged into the same amp, and the entire sound was coming through a pair of speakers, and you
Yeah.
didn't mind, right?
Yeah.
So I think uh, so. I was like, then we'd rehearse, and it's like, there's something wrong with the sound. There's something wrong with the sound, uh, because um, syempre, I was beginning to be really discerning. If I mean, as if wanting to have a separate amp for the bass and the drums. I'm not saying that the other guys were not into that, but yung
Yeah.
for me kasi lagi ko nakikita with the Dawn, it's like, this is how it this is how it should be. This is how it should be.
Oh, okay. I get. Yeah. Sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um and I guess maybe musical tastes were kind of changing a little bit then, or maybe we were like um my contribution to the band is basically, rock guitar bordering on metal, because that's what I really like to
Yeah.
play.
Right.
So I wanted that to be at the forefront.
Yeah.
And of course, Wency's a powerful frontman and songwriter, and he wants it
In
um,
another
in,
way.
in another way, and
Yeah.
we couldn't really put it all together.
Yeah.
And add to
Did
that,
you try to write songs like that, like with the two different styles that you're,
um,
or was it just like, no, I don't want to play like that, or what? Yeah.
parang ganun. Okay. Yesterday, uh, Jed and I were talking about the song that I contributed to the band, yung Abot Kamay. It's a ballad, and I actually, and he didn't know this. I didn't know he didn't know this, but I wrote the primary chord pattern, the primary riff for that when I was still in After Image. I
Oh,
remember working on it with Rogie and Bobbitt, as a trio. I don't remember if Arnold was there. Um, but somehow uh, it it didn't develop it. So maybe it was that. Maybe we tried to present it kay Wency. Maybe he didn't like it. I really don't remember at all.
yeah,
All I remember is, okay, I have this musical idea, and three well, about yeah 3+ years later, I presented it to the Dawn.
yeah,
So maybe it's, yeah, some differences were creatively
yeah,
we weren't gelling as
yeah.
well as we did in the beginning.
Right. Well, I mean, that's only natural, right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's the life of a band. You have to. I mean, the Wolfgang. We went through three bass players
Mm.
before we ended up in one. Yeah. So, but then it was all circumstantial. They're leaving. One got grounded because he failed. He had bad grades, so they sent
Okay.
his bass to the province.
Oh,
It's like another one was just taking you know uh, you know uh, had bad habits. Let's put it
okay.
at
Yeah.
that. And then the third one had a commitment with a big band. Another big band. So, but and then he goes, you know what? I can't do this because it was Angelo of the Jerks. He was with the Jerks at the time.
Mm, 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 mm.
He played with Wolfgang for like 2 gigs, 3 gigs. He goes, and then we wanted him to join because he was a
Oh yeah,
great
yeah,
player, but it's like,
yeah.
Angelo, you want to join Wolfgang, man? Come on. I mean, bagay ka sa amin, but he goes, no, I have a commitment with the Jerks, and I think it was a written commitment as well, so
Okay.
he was really tied to the Jerks. Um, And then he goes, but I know a guy, and he likes Iron Maiden like you guys. And of course, he was talking about Mon Legaspi.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
he goes, oh, nasa lista din yan, pare. O yan, kakasundo kayo. And then yun. So, I mean, and then Mon is your good friend. You're
yeah,
very
yeah,
good friends, especially during that time. It's like such a
yeah,
small world, man.
yeah.
And so when the so what how was the transition to the Don? What was that? Yeah, because the catalyst of everything, I guess, was the death of Teddy Diaz, no? And they had
Yeah.
that famous audition process, and
Uh, yeah. They.
yeah,
Uh,
coming from a fan, I'm going to tell you this. Coming from a fan, because I was still a fan at that time. No band, I was starting my first band, but starting pa lang. And that was a big deal, man. That whole audition thing. Everyone's like, "Oh shit!" Who's
yeah,
gonna be the
yeah.
new guitarist?
They ended up with Atsushi.
Oh, that's
Um.
right. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh.
Oh, and then they had that. I'm sorry, but they had that gig where there was a guy in a mask, and that
Yeah. Yeah.
was
Noel Mendez.
Noel Mendez.
Yeah.
That was huge news too. I'm like, everyone's like, "Oh, wow, pare." And then
Yeah.
and then for us fans who couldn't go out, we were too young to go to concerts. We would see it in the newspaper. So there's that guy, the guitarist, with a mask on, and then Jet is. I remember the picture. It was him and Jet, and he was in a mask, and everyone's reaction is like, "Whoa, man, look at this!" Galing, pare.
I still remember yung when they auditioned si Noel, who was a monster guitar player. Well known na siya sa because as a session player.
Yeah,
So because I was close to the Don, being part of the road crew, and they said, "Why don't you come over to the compound? We want you to talk to this guy. We're looking at this guy. Jam with him if you can talk about guitars and ganyan." So they lent me the tape that Noel made. I was like, wait, and I was like, uh, this guy's really really good. Do you know? Kailangan
yeah.
ba ng audition ito? like like this is no yun. So went to the compound. Noel was there. Then we jammed for a bit. Then I was watching him going, watching his fingers just do these elegant lines, and even the way his fingers moved were elegante, and he wasn't super fast.
Did he have long fingers,
Um,
like slender fingers?
yeah, yeah, and it's as if each of his fingers may sariling mundo. Yung the finger independence was just amazing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah. Oh,
I
wow.
was after speed and aggression, and I was like, okay, this guy isn't fast, but the lines were so elegant, and his phrasing was so beautiful. Na even even a line that went da 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 yung ganun it was just flowing, and it's like me trying to play fast, yeah, brr, na doon ko na realize walang kwenta tong ginagawa ko. This guy,
Yeah.
every note he plays, it was so beautiful, and it wasn't always linear. It yung may intervallic, bottom line, very elegant, and still
Right.
is an incredibly elegant
Wow.
guitar
Uh,
player, very sophisticated, very advanced.
what was his
Um,
guitar? Do you remember the guitar he was playing at the time?
yeah, he
Was it
had
an Ibanez? No.
even before the Ibanez, he had a 70s. I think it was a 70s Strat with a humbucker in the bridge.
Wow.
Um,
That's what he auditioned with.
yeah. Um,
And but he did have an Ibanez, right?
later on,
When
yeah.
he was with Cynthia and all of
Yeah,
that.
when
Yeah.
he was when they formed Hype,
Hype. Yeah.
he had an Ibanez na.
Right. Yeah. Hype. Yeah.
But I remember watching a couple of gigs, probably mall shows or whatever, with Noel before they gave him the mask, and we were talking about um, that guitar visit. Then I noticed the bridge pickup ang layo, and I always had my pickups as near the strings as possible to get the maximum sustain, the maximum volume. And then
Right.
sa kanyang
Uh-huh.
baba, oh, and then I tried it and I couldn't make, on one of my guitars, couldn't make it work. I was like, that guy's
Shit.
a virtuoso. But things didn't, as much as he um, was a mass guitar player, uh,
Were you
internally.
at that show? Were you at that show?
Yeah, after Image was, it was on another one of those Ultra Storm things. It wasn't Ultra Storm
Ah.
2. It was called something else.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, there he was with a mask. Oh yeah, I remember we talked about his guitar after, because he played a Casio, which I ended up playing, but he also had that old Strat with the humbucker and the bridge. We talked about that. I don't know kung during sound check or after the show. But anyway, I guess internally the things didn't work out.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Okay.
I'm not at liberty to
Yeah, 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 of course. Yeah, yeah.
discuss that. Although everyone's has good relations with everyone. Noel is kakulitan sa Facebook, and
Yeah.
uh, uh, we say hi to each other. Jet says hi. And we're all.
It just wasn't meant to
It
be.
just wasn't meant to be. Yeah.
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 Because there was you, buddy. You know?
Well, I got the gig, so they got at
Oh, wait,
sushi.
so at sushi, yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I
and
have
I
this
think
wait, before you
yeah.
I have this memory of Atsushi. I'm not making fun. I'm just, in jest, not making fun. But I don't know if you saw this, but when they came out on TV, probably
Yeah.
student canteen or something like that, and lip sync, which was normal during that time,
Yeah.
and he did a guitar flip, the strap, the Steve Vai thing,
Yeah, yeah. And then
and
yeah,
the strap came off and the guitar flew. But the thing was,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
so funny. But the funny thing about it was, on the screen, it was his solo. He was soloing,
yeah,
so the camera was on his pick finger, right? Pick hand,
yeah,
and then he flips the guitar, and the director doesn't switch cameras, so they don't get the swing at all. They
yeah.
just get the guitar disappears from the frame and never comes back into the frame.
So
So I'm like, oh, asan yung gitara? And then they pan out to the whole band, and it's at sushi, picking up the guitar on the floor. Oh my gosh.
yeah, we would, especially when Sushi was in the band, ilang beses pinag-usapan yun, and hey Sushi, remember that time? And then Sushi would laugh din na, oh that was, I felt so stupid, blah 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 blah. Because I think he didn't. It was one of those DiMarzio locking straps, and
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I think he didn't lock it
Yeah.
because normally, kasi, di ba, with these lunchtime guestings, you show up, and if you have time, they'll give you makeup for the lights or whatever. But I think that time, if memory serves, they said that they kind of showed up late, and they showed up just in time for the gap. So
Uh-huh.
madali, and
Okay. Right. Yeah.
Jun Boy was like, he remembers, lip syncing, and then nakita lang niya lumipad yung gitara.
Oh my god! It's a good thing the guitar didn't break, pare. It didn't snap or something, you know.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Because that was
Well,
that was the second thing that came straight into my mind. It's like, is the guitar still, intact?
yeah,
Because if it fell the wrong way, that neck could have snapped.
yeah, yeah.
Diba? And what would he do? Diba? If the neck snapped, what would he do? Diba? He'd be like, oh, you're in live lunchtime, pare.
And I think I remember din yung ano, because when they were remembering the details of that, si Koloida was like, he was grooving ganyan, and then he was moving his head like that, and then you could see though yung his eyes were going, looking at Sushi, looking at the guitar, looking at Sushi, like, what's he gonna do now?
Mm. Oh yeah. Oh shit, mate. I bet, man. Oh my god, this is funny. So, how long was Sushi in the band?
10 months, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
even a year. Then,
not even a year, no?
but he released 2 albums during that period with the Dawn, yung Beyond the Bend and the live album.
Oh, the live album. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
And yeah.
what is from your point of view? What was your journey going into the band? You know what I mean? It's like, what was your, or was it in your, was Sushi's leaving a shock, or was everyone expecting it to happen, or?
Mm, I think Sushi is a great guy personally.
Right.
Um, ask any member of the band, and we all miss him as a buddy, as a drinking buddy, kakwentuhan, whatever. But
Yeah.
there was always tension musically,
Right.
always yung and Sushi wasn't very happy with doing interviews. He um like as I think we all hate the so where did the band's name come from? We all
Right.
hate
Oh,
that, right?
yeah.
Because but Sushi, he couldn't stand it, because his point was, didn't don't they do their research? Why did you get
Exactly. It's in my point too, man.
yeah?
Yeah.
And we were like, this is the Philippine mass media press. Just
Yeah.
gotta be patient na lang. Just you don't have to get all emotional about. Kumbaga, expect it. It's like, have you tried Filipino food whenever local journalists interview international artistas or whatever? Have you tried Filipino food?
Yeah.
And someone must be warning them. That's one of the standard questions they will ask.
Yeah.
You just have to be patient with it, But Sushi had negative. He had not zero. Yung patience was
No tolerance.
super low tolerance. So he wasn't also radio interviews. Then he wouldn't. He would always say not much to say, blah blah blah. And I was there because I handled the camera when they did press in Cebu, and so lots of things. And then one day, it was in Iligan yata, and Martin Galan pulled me aside, and then he said, "We're thinking of making a change, and he's also aware that may tension us after image and whatever." And
Uh-huh.
then he said, "Figure out your situation with after image. Um, if you want to work that out, work that out. But if you feel it can't be worked out, then we want you to be the next guitar player for the Dawn."
Nice.
I said,
That's simple,
I said,
huh?
yeah. And I said I'll think about it, because syempre, hindi man ako, that's the opportunity of a lifetime, but hindi naman ako
Yeah.
gago na ano eh. I thought about it. I even talked to one of Wency's sisters about it. So anyway, I ended up with the Dawn. If I remember the date correctly, was November
Wait, wait, wait,
29.
wait. Wait a minute. So what was the advice of Wency's sister? Do you
Um,
remember? So you were
she was kind of she was
you
kind
were
of sitting
asked.
on the she was kind of
Oh,
sitting on the fence. The way I was thinking, which was like, yeah, but this is your band, and at the same time, but yeah, that's an opportunity.
yeah,
So so she didn't encourage or discourage me one way or the other. It's
right.
like, you know, so think about it. Think about it. Um, I don't remember what I told the guys, but I do remember when I told Martin, uh, I'm ready, and then he said, and November 29 was, we talked, and then he said, okay, we're having a photo shoot in 3 days, so be at so and so and so and so.
Hmm.
Okay.
So what was the first order of business when you joined the Dawn?
Mm, well, obviously rehearsal. Well, yeah, the photo shoot, um, so that they can announce that there's a new guitar player and rehearsals. I played I played with the Dawn 2 months after Teddy died. It was it was a gigs of folk arts theater that was pre-booked, and then the producers decided to make it a tribute gig na lang. So it
Uh-huh.
was David Lava of Rage, Rusty Cornejo of Identity Crisis, and myself. And I hung out with the Dawn anyway, even before that. So I really knew them anyway. Teddy and I would used to talk about guitars actually.
Hmm.
So their songs were familiar territory for me. Listening to them on record, seeing them rehearse, seeing the watching the gigs. Um, oh yeah, and I remember after Image Days, Roger and I were obsessed with, like you, with Love Will Set Us Free. We loved the drumming, we loved the synthesizer thing, and as in
Yeah.
it was on repeat in his car. We would
Wow.
rewind, rewind, and then uh, after that, I played with them once. They were demoing Casio products in LaSalle. So, can you make it? And I said, yeah. How many songs? 3 songs. And I played with them. So the rehearsals were kind of easy in the sense that I knew how loud they were going to be
Uh-huh.
in that little garage. Um, and I saw how Teddy would rehearse before, and Teddy in rehearsal and Teddy on stage is the same guy. Performance level lagi.
Oh wow, really?
Yeah. And Sushi wasn't like that. But but the energy that I remember when Teddy was rehearsing in that garage, which we still, well, we haven't used it since the pandemic. That was what I remembered. So when I formally started rehearsing with the band as a member, performance level din ako, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's been more than a year since they had a performance level player with them, because see Sushi
Oh right,
say
yeah.
he saves it for the gig. Eh.
Uh-huh.
So Junboy was like, um, you know, can you take it down a couple of notches? Just relax lang, ganyan, ganyan. And it turned out to be a better thing. Dahil if you're always performance level, pretending it's a gig, the details are gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was like, yeah, okay. I wanted to do the lines right anyway. I thought I had to have that performance level thing that
Right.
Teddy brought. But then again, that was Teddy, because that was who he was. Eh.
Yeah.
you know.
Uh-huh.
So, and that's what I saw. So I thought I was going to emulate that. Then I realized I don't have to.
You're right.
Just,
Yeah. Just be
just,
yourself. Yeah.
just be yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. So what was your first gig with the Dawn?
Mm,
Was it the coming out party or was it just a regular gig? Or
no, it was just a regular gig. I mean, they had a coming out party for sushi because I think the narrative that they wanted at that time was Sushi was the mass guitar player, and to this day, people still are not.
yeah,
They,
I
they-
thought it was sushi. Yeah.
no, it wasn't. It was Noel
Yeah.
Mendez. Yung sa akin was just a regular gig. You know, they press release in a couple of newspapers, and if I remember right, the first formal full set I did with the band was Big Bang sa Alabang.
Nice. Malamig pa yung alabang nun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, there was pag sinabing, oh, we're going to go to Alabang, it's kind of like going to Tagaytay. You know that there's going to be a really good breeze and
Yeah.
right
A
and
nice breeze.
open air and good ng landscape.
Yeah.
And it was fun. You know, we did the rides and then did sound check. Oh, you want to go for rides, whatever. You know, you can okay, just be back for the gig at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So how
fun.
was the show? Were people anticipating you or how was it?
I don't really remember because all I
Uh-huh.
was thinking of was making
Oh, okay.
was,
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
playing well. So I never really thought about that, especially because the that folk arts tribute gig, and I was expecting it. Coming tatlo ni na David and Rusty were expecting it. Na people weren't going to like us because we are not Teddy, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, and I remember so I was the I was the last guitar player to play, 4 or 5 songs, and I remember being on stage and yung mga tao sa harap were flipping me off. Eh. I
Oh,
knew,
really?
yeah, I knew that was gonna happen.
Wow.
It's natural lang.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah. But I mean,
So
wow.
I was expecting it, and then I just shrugged. It's like
Yeah.
hey,
Then you.
I miss the guy same way you do. I know how
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
feel,
Yeah.
but gotta do the gig.
You're the
But
new guy, so
yeah, pero yung inassign sa akin na kanta was a complicated song. It's a song called "Wish You Were Here," not the Pink Floyd song, but yung um, it had a keyboard riff. If you know "Changes" by Yes, tan 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 ta da 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 tan tan
oh
tan
yeah,
ta
yeah,
da da
yeah, yeah.
da 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 da. Yung
Uh-huh.
"Wish You Were Here" because Junboy is a huge Yes fan, especially during that time.
Yeah.
And he played keyboards. "Love Will Set Us Free." He wrote that.
Oh wow.
So he made a riff that was kind of like yung changes by Yes, and his pattern was tan 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 tan. Yung it's hard to count, but if you
Yeah.
get used to it, yeah, mag taradan taradan, and after that's gonna be ganyan ganyan.
Yeah.
So that was the first My Little Sets of Folk Arts. That was the first song, and then uh, Jet started, playing the then it started playing, and then the guys who flipped me off began to smile, and then went like that, like saying, "Okay, yeah, you can do the job. You can do the job." Like, okay, so yun. Um, so ever since I would always just focus on playing and not because they'll either like me or they'll hate me anyway. What's the
Yeah.
difference?
Yeah. It's either
I just
or.
gotta play. Yeah.
Yeah. And were you yeah, because it wasn't like you were exactly a really new guy because you were friends with
Yeah.
them already, so you just
Yeah.
So it's like kind of different. That I guess the pressure wasn't
Yeah, yeah,
as
yeah,
maybe like if you were like like how Jason Newsted did when he joined Metallica,
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
pressure he was on because was
yeah.
bearable to a point, or something like that. But I guess you didn't have that pressure on you, no.
No, I mean, I knew Jet even before the Dawn existed. I
Right.
knew him from school. Uh, dun sa speech competitions, elocution contests, and whatever, which he always won, by the way.
Yeah.
Um, and yun nga, yung being part of the Dawn's little road crew. So there, yeah, there wasn't. I didn't feel any pressure. It was like, uh, I was comfortable with them. They were comfortable with me. You
Yeah.
know,
And they're
um,
already confident with your playing, and
yeah,
which is a big part. The band, has to be confident with each band member has to pull their weight, kumbaga,
yeah.
and
And it
so
and it was fun discussing music theory stuff. Like
yeah,
si Carlos. Si Carlos is into that, and when si Junboy composes on the piano, the some of the chords are a little not very convenient if you follow yung traditional chord progressions, eh. And
yeah,
then we discuss it, and then I try to explain some of the things that they actually already knew. I just knew what they were called. So,
right.
oh, that's this because the relationship of this and this is ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. I mean, what I knew then. I know a little bit more now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool, man. So you join the Dawn, and of course you make history and all of that. All these hits, all these. I want to know, like, memorable. What's your memorable, like, really, like, you'll never forget it when in the Dawn gig experience? Make it
Mm,
a gig. Let's do gig. Let's do gig because that's like the ultimate expression is in a concert. So you
right.
know.
Um, it's so normally you do sound check, right? And then the show is just a few hours after that. Now, depending on where the venue is, sometimes you go back, you get sent back to the hotel. You can take a nap, or
Yeah.
if there's not enough time, you stay in the venue, right?
Right.
Um, I remember we played a gig in Davao. I don't know where it is. It was a big gym or something like that. So we finished sound check a little late. So we didn't have time to go back to the hotel. We just had to stay in the venue.
Yeah.
So after sound check, they let people in. It was a good 3 hours pa siguro till showtime. I looked out. There weren't too many people. I was
Uh
like,
huh.
shit, the it's gonna be a flop gig.
Yeah.
And you know how Pinoys are pa. Yung it's rare that a gig is sold out in advance.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Uh
enough
huh.
Pinoys to buy on the day itself.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, is it one of those they bought tickets on the day itself, or is this a flop gig? Not too many people. So anyway, what can you do? So went
Yeah.
back, ate whatever. Showtime, paglabas, wow, the gym or the auditorium was packed to the rafters. It's like,
Wow.
like shit. And I remember that probably because that was my first time ever in Davao.
Right.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
So a city that I ended up liking and loving, and then, uy, okay. Another unforgettable moment was yung 9/11 because we were in New York. So
Oh, that's right. Oh my
yeah,
God. Yeah, can you tell us what happened, man? What was your experience, dude? That's like
yeah,
so gnarly, man. Oh,
yeah. So that's our first and only U.S. tour. Um, and things started out okay. Started sa California, landing jet as in super excited. Hey, we're here together. Oh shit, we just left LAX and we couldn't believe that, as a band, we were in the
yeah,
States together.
yeah,
Kaloy's been to the States. I haven't been to the States. Junboy's been to the States. But
yeah,
yung the thrill of shit, and we're doing a gig
yeah,
in 3 hours because we have to drive to the gig right after. And um, I didn't know how to handle jet lag. Instead of sleeping on the plane, I would sleep, take naps, and wake up and whatever, not knowing what the fuck jet lag was.
yeah.
So we get to the gig, we get to the venue. We were a little late because getting the gear from customs and whatever. Had to figure stuff out like shit. We forgot to request for transformers. I don't know kung step up or
Oh,
step down.
right. Yeah.
I'm always confused with it. So we were late, and then we had to figure out what do we need, a step up or a step down. Then of course, not used to yung protocols backstage. Yung security didn't let us in. Sorry, you don't have ID. And when we
Yeah.
kept insisting, no, but we're the band. I don't know that you don't have ID. So
Yeah.
these little things, right? Then I think we started the show uh, maybe an hour and a half late.
This was in New York.
No, no, hindi pa New York to eh. Sa California pa to eh.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, started playing and nag-umpisa agad yung antok biglang gumano no, yung
Uh-huh.
stepping on the pedal at the wrong time and whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Then after the gig, you're just wasted and then you get your second wind and then at 7 a.m. you're still awake and you're
Yeah.
really wide awake and
Wide
shit,
awake.
yeah. And then you feel sickly. So maganda yung umpisa nung tour. The next gig was okay. So and then so we played New York in Club Speed. So, it's small venue lang, about it's gonna maybe about 400 people. It
Uh-huh.
was packed. I remember the aircon being so cold na um three quarters of the way to the gig, I had it's like I told the band stop. I have to pee, so took off my. As in sobrang lamig eh. I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
used.
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah.
So it was good. Tapos 3 days after that, we were supposed to go to Chicago because we had a gig booked sa Chicago. So we had 3 or 4 days left to explore New York, go
Right.
around New Jersey if we can,
Yeah.
which we did. And then the night before, September 10, we were walking around New York, went almost peed in Central Park pa because I needed to pee. And then this policeman on a horse said, "I'm sorry, sir, you can't do that." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm a tourist. I'm a tourist." So I did. So lakad-lakad. Oh, and our producer, yan yung Dakota Mansions. Diyan nakatira si John Lennon. Diyan siya. Yan.
Sa pinatay.
Yeah, walked around, looked up, and went, yeah, the Twin Towers. We're going there tomorrow. Yun yung plano.
Oh
We're
my
going there
god. So
tomorrow.
this is September 10.
September 10, yeah.
Oh wow.
And so, yeah, okay, we'll go there tomorrow. So then he said, why don't we have a nightcap? Because we were, sa Queens pa kami eh. But, let's have a nightcap. We were drunk and I remember we were kind of drunk and right across the street was a Tower Records and midnight album launch, They Might Be Giants. And
Uh,
kami ni Jet are fans of They Might Be Giants, right?
yeah.
Shit, that's like No. We have made plans for the next day. World
Right.
Trade Center, and then si Dodo, our keywordist at the time, said there's a there's a there's an area in New York where you can go shop and zero tax. Ganyan. So, kumbaga, okay, let's not waste tomorrow. Um, and never mind, they might be giants, and
Yeah,
there's other
yeah.
things we have to do tomorrow. So, again, went back to the hotel, and then yun, waking up bleary eyed. Ano nangyayari sa TV, and then one of the towers is burning, and I was thinking, is this a CNN movie feature? Maybe it's a new
Yeah, yeah.
Stallone movie or whatever. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
woke
yeah.
up, and Carlos was pacing
You're in
between
the city.
rooms.
You're in Manhattan.
No, we were in Queens, in
Ah, Queens. Okay, Queens.
sa Marriott yata or something,
Yeah.
across LaGuardia yata. Anyway, and then I saw sa ilalim CNN breaking news. I'm like, shit, teka muna. And then the second plane hit. It's like, oh shit. And then the phone rings, and it's Jet's wife.
Uh-huh.
Are you okay? Yeah, we're just blah blah blah. Phone rings again. It's my cousin from Chicago, because
Yeah.
my cousins, they were waiting for the gig, and then she was crying, and she was like, it's good to know that you guys are safe, because there's no public gatherings. Well, I'm pretty sure our gig there is canceled, because
Yeah.
there's no flights out of here. We're stuck here in the
Yeah.
hotel.
Everything's
So,
canceled.
yeah, so we were stuck there for about 6 days sa Marriott. Uh, and people entering the lobby had FBI.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, serious shit. You could see LaGuardia. I don't know if it's LaGuardia or JFK. The planes were parked super quiet.
Eerie. Fuck.
It was eerie. And then when flights resumed, nakakapraning.
Oh,
Because I had to
yeah.
fly back to California, which is 5 or 6 hours yata, and you're like, what if the pilot, all
Yeah.
these scenarios, right?
Oh, my God. What if there's a second wave of attack or something,
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
my God, man. So what happened next? You went to California, then back to the Philippines?
Yeah. We still had a couple of gigs left sa ano. I mean, there were a couple obviously that were canceled. Chicago was canceled. I don't know if there was another one that was canceled there. So when we landed sa California, and everyone was scared and sad and depressed and whatever.
Yeah.
And before we left for New York, syempre we went to San Francisco and checked out the porn shops and all that shit. Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I said, this is a really stupid suggestion, but maybe can we go back? And not that we wanted to watch a live show or anything, but because that area was magaan eh, yung it's
Oh, yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh, uh-huh.
And then they agreed and they said, yeah, yung maybe, baka may konting sayo doon. We got
Yeah.
to the area and no one, as in, everyone, and it's like, and it's even more depressing. Dahil that area
Yeah,
that
because
you thought,
that was the happy area. Yeah,
that was
where
the
all the
happy area. And dude, everyone was, and
yeah.
everyone was looking at everyone else. Yung napraning.
Shit, pare.
Then we played sa El Rey. Thankfully, I think 900 people showed up. Very, very good attendance. And si Binky Lampano was there. Si Melody, who had just, of Sugar Hiccup, she just moved to the States at that time.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Met up with us, and she was crying and happy that we were alive and safe.
Shit, man.
And I think we flew home. I think it's good 2 weeks after that. Yeah, we went home near the end of September. So it was a harrowing rest of the
trip.
rest of the tour. Yeah, but
Wow.
you know,
Well, what
pero
can you do? I mean,
what can you do, right? So,
yeah,
namasyal na lang kami. Uh, Fisherman's Wharf is beautiful and all these
yeah.
things.
But what was the vibe in when you were making pasyal? Ganun din, sad,
Ganun din, yeah. Um,
suspicious.
Suspicious, yeah. Uh, well, we made the most out of it, no.
Yeah,
Like Jet had a friend, yeah, and took us to dinner sa Fisherman's Wharf. So we kind of forgot about everything for a while and just enjoyed being tourists. So
yeah,
I think we played a couple more gigs, but I don't really remember much because overwhelming yung
yeah,
uh, we still have to fly home and what's going to happen.
yeah,
It
man.
doesn't. It's like you're not relaxed until until you're
You're
back
at
home
home.
talaga.
You're
Yeah,
actually in your house, in your
yeah,
room, in your bed. Yeah,
yeah.
man. Grabe. So what was it like when you got back to your bed? To your family and all that, you know?
Oh, very much a relief. At the
Yeah.
same time, I forgot to leave word sa ano dun sa because I lived on the same building as Atsushi. Forgot to leave money for the utilities. So when I got home, walang kuryente, walang, so I was
Oh
like,
shit.
but I was so relieved to be home,
Yeah.
right? Na, de okay lang yan. You know, I'll take care of this tomorrow because normally kasi let's say you know if maputulan ako ng tubig or kuryente na you know it's panic time but I was so relieved na no it's okay, relax, this is fixable and it's
Yeah.
very easy to fix. You just have to pay the reconnection fee, whatever.
Yeah.
Just relax lang and I just try to sleep. Yun.
Wow. So let's before we land the plane, I want to get your let's end on a light positive note
Yeah.
and talk about music. So every time I have a guest musician, I always ask, especially if you're a guitarist, your top five in no particular order. The obvious question, but feel free to answer. Your top five, your the guitarist that you really look up to.
Mm.
I guess nowadays, or whatever. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, definitely number one on the list. Even if I can't play like him, I aspire to, and I aspire to um, uh, write music like him, and I aspire to his open mindedness. That would be Pat Metheny, absolutely.
Oh wow.
And yeah, and last night I was just watching Rick Beato's interview with Metheny, and it was like uh, the interview that I've always been waiting for it because Rick Beato is very technical, but he's also a fan.
Yeah.
He's a huge Metheny fan, so yung mga tanong niya were on point lahat and because Metheny's always been clean living, his memory is impeccable.
Uh
You know,
huh.
and revelation, that he was probably the only person to tell Jaco, don't do that. Yung ganun siyang
Wow.
So definitely Metheny.
Uh huh.
Uh, Depending on my mood, Eric Johnson, because you know, like Noel Mendez, very elegant
Yeah. Uh huh.
solos and elegant chords. Um, Hendrix always.
Yes, of course.
Brian May
Nice.
and Lifeson, Alex Lifeson.
Oh, live son. Yeah, man.
Yung comment mo earlier about the heavy stuff and the trippier stuff
Uh
that I
huh.
do, I think that's
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
largely a Life's on the Edge, Andy Summers sort of, but
Yeah.
more Alex Lifeson because the thing that I love about si Lifeson, di ba? I mean, career-wise, nauna siya kay The Edge. I mean, nauna si Andy Summers career-wise, but in terms of the innovations, right?
Yeah.
I like the fact that si Lifeson, even if he was fairly established as a guitar player with Rush, he allowed himself to be influenced by the newer sounds that Andy
Yeah.
Summers
Yeah.
had.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
in-incorporate niya
Yeah.
yung may konting kopya, but he didn't change the way he played eh.
No. No.
That
Still aggressive,
peaceful,
but then
yeah, isinama niya, he made it tasteful
yeah,
and
because in the 70s, Alex Lifeson was all blues licks. It was
yeah, yeah,
all
yeah,
hard rock, hard rock licks.
yeah,
And then and it was not just him; it was the whole band. If
yeah,
you, they have an interview, the three of them, and they're saying that yeah, it was like I think it was for Grace Under Pressure or Signals or one of those or Spirit of Radio. I think it was the what's that? What's the album of Spirit of Radio? Shit, Tom Sawyer.
permanent waves.
No, no, no. It was for no, it was for uh, Mirrors. Gosh,
Uh, moving pictures.
Moving Pictures Mirrors tuloy. Yeah, Moving Pictures interview. So they were saying nga, yeah, we've been introduced. I mean, influenced by bands like the Police, new wave bands. So that's when his sound changed. He
Yeah,
became this trippy guitar player. Pero pag solohan na,
yeah, 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 yeah,
di ba? Yeah, man, I love Rush, man. I was very fortunate to watch them
yeah, yeah,
twice. I think I saw them twice. Yeah,
and yeah, never gonna see them ever again.
yeah,
And
never.
that's one of di ba, they kept Neil Peart's illness a secret. So
Yeah,
nabalita ko na, my girlfriend messaged me, patay na si Neil Peart ng Rush. Sino yun? It's like, huh? Then I checked and I was like, oh shit. How did this? And then it turned out that he had brain cancer that
brain
the
cancer.
band didn't
Yeah,
know. And di ba they had a farewell tour. Essentially, they broke up na naman eh. But
they broke up because Neil Peart had arthritis, as in
yeah,
buong
yeah,
katawan niya. Buong katawan
yeah,
niya.
yeah,
Yeah, they would say it's like it was a miracle he would do 2-hour shows, man.
yeah.
I'm like, fuck, grabe.
So I was sad when they kind of broke up and said goodbye to touring. But
Yeah,
when people are still alive, you'll go, well, they might play a handful of shows, and who knows, maybe I have the money to go,
yeah,
fly
yeah,
out
yeah.
and what, you can still have that fantasy, and
Yeah.
now you can't, man.
Not at all, man. Shit. So last one. Favorite albums in your life?
Well, there's a lot.
Let's keep it down to 3
Shit.
na talagang important albums for you.
I gotta think about it because I love a lot of albums. Uh, Definitely John Coltrane live at the Village Vanguard 1961. I have the box
Oh
set
my
kasi.
God, ang bigat mo naman, pare.
The complete Village Vanguard because it's yung there's bits of it, modal jazz improvisation that, uy, you get it, and then there are moments na ang bigat na, where are they going with this,
Yeah.
which is fine by me because it's like, okay, I know I'll have to listen to it again and
Yeah.
figure it out. So it becomes a lifelong, almost lifelong what new thing will I learn from this box set? So definitely that's one. Um,
Did you know? Speaking of John Coltrane, while you think, um, in Africa, I think, or no, South America or something, but the south of the equator, somewhere there. There's a city um, that has their patron saint is John Coltrane.
yeah.
You know about that? I'm sure you know
I'm
about
aware
that,
of
right?
that. Yeah,
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 grabe. And then there's an actual painting. You know those religious paintings
yeah,
that's like a, I don't know if you've seen it. There's one of him, of John Coltrane,
yeah.
and
Like a
it,
mosaic.
yeah,
Na,
almost, yes,
yeah,
exactly, yeah. And it's
yeah. I've
he's
seen those pictures. Yeah.
oh my god, imagine, grabe, no?
I mean, I get it, but that medyo sobra. That's a little too much. I can
Yeah,
understand a musician having a spiritual impact, but to actually medyo wild na yun.
oh yeah, of course,
That's a little too much for me.
yeah.
So yeah, so Coltrane, Mithini, Letter from Home, the entire album,
Uh-huh.
uh, and uh, it's a toss up between. It's a toss up between, and it's a weird toss up between Russia's Moving Pictures uh, and Wish You Were Here in Pink Floyd. It's a weird toss up. Depende sa mood kasi.
Wow, it's pretty good, man, and very
Yeah.
specific. Wish you were here, huh? Not Dark Side.
Um.
Not the obvious choice, I guess.
Maybe
Well,
that's
even
why.
me. Well, even me. That's why. I mean, my favorite Pink Floyd album is Animals.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you
So,
have the remastered dahil ano yan? Because supposedly the remaster's about to come out.
well, all those remasters have come out already, I think.
There's a new edition kasi nag-away si Waters and Gilmore again.
Again?
Yeah.
So there's
It,
another.
it has to do with liner notes. Waters wrote some liner
Oh
notes.
my god.
No. Mark Blake wrote some liner notes approved by Waters, detailing a few things about the recording. And Gilmore vetoed it. Like, don't put the liner notes there. So nag-aaway na naman yung dalawang matanda.
Yung dalawang matanda.
So what Waters did was, okay, since officially this can't be dun sa a 40th anniversary edition of Animals, he included it in one of his Instagram uh, posts. Na it was so ridiculous those.
I know, man. It's very English. Their feuding is very English.
Since you mentioned animals, by the way, sheep is very important to me whenever I try to write something and I'm playing the keyboards, because the sound that I will always start with is an imitation of Richard Wright's Rhodes piano. That sound. That's what I always start with. When I try to write something on keyboard, it's always that sound.
The sound of the what? The sound of what? Sorry.
Of a Fender Rhodes na may
Oh
phaser and
yeah.
whatever.
Uh-huh.
That classic 70s electric piano thing.
Yeah, I love that sound, man.
And yung sheep kasi, it starts, di ba, medyo jazzy.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then it ends with this.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah. It's
and then
so
the song's
galing.
like, and then babagsak ganyan, and then that vocoder part, and then it builds and builds and builds again.
Dude, I love that album.
That's a great example of yung 10 minutes lang yan.
Yes. Yes. They used to
Yeah.
play that here in LA. There's a station before the classic rock station of LA was KLOS,
Mm.
95.5 KLOS. Classic rock that really rocks. That's the station.
Yeah.
And in the 90s, I was here in 94 for vacation. And they played Dogs, pare. They played the whole
Ah.
Dogs on the radio FM. I'm like, holy shit, they're playing the whole thing because I thought they were gonna fade it out in the really
Yeah.
the soft parts, Voila, the kid kept on going until the end. And then the DJ after is like, time to land the plane. you know. And this was during the day. It wasn't a late night show, that
Yeah.
it was prime time. So I'm like, wow, okay, itong country na to, pare, playing dogs the whole thing. But that station now has changed management so much, and they're really badui nowadays. So
Yeah.
and but yeah, Animals is my favorite Floyd album because of that. Those songs, those sprawling songs, and I
Yeah.
remember because the first time I heard it, it was Miguel and Dave and Tirsa was there, and it was a small boombox, really small cassette CD boombox, and then those were the first few months of me smoking weed ever.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
music was like, wow, my mind was
Yeah.
opening every day, every single day. My mind was being opened and opened and opened. So they go, I was already used to dark side and maybe metal. And then they go, okay, Wolf, you have to hear Animals, pare. Ano yan, pare? Parang dark side din? Hindi, pare. Iba to.
Yeah.
Gano'n, di ba? Iba to. Hindi parang dark side to. Mas malalim to. So it was a small boombox. So it gets stoned, and then we're just sitting down on the floor in his room, just Indian sit, everyone closing their eyes. And this boombox, pare, the sound was like so enormous because
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
my early days of smoking weed, and then when it would be the quiet parts of dogs, and then there was barking right
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
the in the
Yeah.
song.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then when it would start to bark in the song, I would look up. I'd wake up from the trance and look up and be like, fucking dog. I mean, in my mind, it's like fucking dogs,
Yeah.
the neighbor dogs, pare, yung ingay. Then I go back again. Then, roof, 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 roof. I wake up again. And then finally, Miguel notices, like, pare, the dogs are in the song, man. So I'm like, oh shit. I thought it was your neighbor's dogs, man. Fuck. So I'm like, oh shit, I love Pink Floyd, man. Shit. So yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's my favorite album because there's the experience tied to it. That whole
Yeah.
the first time listening to it. Yeah. So
And it's their most aggressive sounding album actually.
it is, yeah.
It's uh not heaviest, but their hardest.
The hardest,
I
yeah,
guess. The
hardest,
hardest.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well shit,
And
man. That's it. Thank you very much, man.
oh sure. Yeah. Oh, fun.
Yeah, man. Okay. WGRS Talk, Francis Reyes of the Dawn. And he has a podcast. What is it again? Please
Yeah,
tell everybody.
it's called Toaster Roast, and it's a Spotify music and music plus talk thing. If anyone, it doesn't matter what kind of music you have. If you write original material, and if you don't mind your material being critiqued, you can send over your stuff. Just go to the Facebook page. Look for the Facebook page of Toaster Roast, and there's instructions there on how you can submit your Spotify link and your social media links and stuff. So it doesn't matter what music you play, and whether you're Pinoy based in the States or anywhere else, it doesn't matter. Actually, even if you're not Pinoy, you can still we've
Yeah.
received a
It's the
couple of
internet.
things.
It's the
It's the internet,
interwebs.
yeah. So
Yeah.
if anyone is open to that, We'll check out your music.
Toast or roast.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, my friend. I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Time. Yeah.
All right. Ingat, man.
Yeah. Stay safe and stay healthy, man.
Yeah, you too. All right. Peace.
All right. Peace out.